So, let's convert this decimal to fraction. So, we have here 0.5 and 3 bar. So, dito sa decimal natin, ang repeating digit natin is si 3 lang. So, paano natin to i-convert to decimal? So, ang first step natin, identify natin yung numerator natin. So, sa numerator natin, kopyahin natin lahat without the decimal point and then the bar. So, tanggalin natin yung decimal point and yung bar. That will give us 53. Tapos, isubtract natin to sa ating non-repeating decimal. So, ang non-repeating decimal natin ay si 5. Okay. So, that will be our numerator. Sa denominator naman, so for every digit na repeating, that will be corresponding to 9. And sa non-repeating decimal natin, that will be 0. So, ang repeating decimal natin is 3. So, meron tayong isa. And then, non-repeating decimal natin is 5. Isa din. So, 0. Lalagay natin after 9. So, we will have a denominator that is equal to 90. Then, let's simplify our numerator. 53 minus 5, that will give us 48. And our denominator, 90. Now, we have here our fraction, 48 over 90. Pwede pa natin siyang isimplify. They are both divisible by 6. So, i-divide natin si numerator and denominator by 6. So, 48 divided by 6 is equal to 8. 90 divided by 6 is 15. So, our fraction form of this decimal will be 8 over 15. And that's it. Ta-da! Alright. Let's convert this decimal to fraction. So, we have here 0.283 and ang nakabar is si 83 lang. So, to convert this into fraction, ang first step natin is to identify our numerator. So, kopyahin natin lahat without the decimal point and the bar. So, we will have 283. And then, since meron tayong non-repeating decimal at repeating decimal, we will subtract 283 by the non-repeating decimal. So, subtract natin to by 2. Ayan. So, that will be our numerator. For the denominator naman, for every repeating decimal, that will be 9. And then for non-repeating decimal, that will be 0. So, ang repeating decimal natin, dalawa. So, that will be 99. And then, yung non-repeating decimal natin, isa. So, maglalagay tayo ng 0 after 99. Okay. Now, ito na yung magiging fraction natin. Let's simplify our numerator. 283 minus 2, that will be 281. Now, yung denominator natin, 990. Now, let's check if we can still simplify it. Okay, so since hindi na natin siya pwedeng i-simplify, and that will be our fraction form. So, our fraction form for our decimal is 281 over 990. And that's it. Ta-da! Alright. Okay, let's convert this fraction to decimal. So, we have here 2.18 bar. So, first step natin is identify our numerator. So, ang numerator natin is kokopyahin lang natin lahat without the decimal point and the bar. So, we have 218. Tapos, let's subtract the non-repeating number. So, we will have 218 minus 2. Kasi 2 is the non-repeating number. Okay? And yung denominator natin, so for every repeating decimal, that will be corresponding to 9. And then for the non-repeating decimal, okay, that will be 0. So, we will have 9 and another 9 kasi dalawa yung repeating decimal natin. Now, since 2 is not decimal, okay, hindi siya decimal, it is a whole number, hindi tayo magdadagdag ng 0 kasi whole number si 2. Hindi siya part ng non-repeating decimal. Okay, so let's simplify our numerator. We will have 218 minus 2, magiging 216 siya over 99. Now, let's simplify this. Okay, they are both divisible by 9. So, let's divide both numerator and denominator by 9. So, 216 divided by 9, that will be 24. 99 divided by 9 is 11. So, our fraction form of this decimal number will be 24 over 11. And that's it. Ta-da! Alright. Okay, let's convert this decimal to fraction. So we have 2.128 and yung 8 natin ay may bar. So we have here an example of a repeating decimal. Now, to convert it to fraction, ang gagawin natin is we will identify our numerator. Yung numerator natin, kukunin lang natin tong number na to without the decimal point and the bar sa taas. So that will give us 2,128. Tapos, we will subtract this sa non-repeating numbers natin. So, ang non-repeating numbers natin, 2, 1, and 2. So, that will be 212. So, yan yung ating numerator. Okay, for our denominator naman, for every repeating decimal, that will be 9. And then sa non-repeating decimal natin, that will be 0. So, meron tayo ditong isang repeating decimal. So, we will have 9. And then, dalawang non-repeating decimal. So, since dalawa yung non-repeating decimal natin, we will have 2 zeros after 9. Now, take note, hindi natin isasama si 2 as non-repeating decimal. Kasi, 2 is a whole number. So, hindi siya kasali. Now, let's simplify our numerator. Subtract natin si 2,128 and 212. So, that will give us 1,916 over 900. So, ito yung fraction natin. Now, let's try to simplify them. They are both divisible by 4. Let's divide our numerator and denominator by 4. So, 1,916 divided by 4 is 479. And then, 900 divided by 4 is 225. So, our fraction form for this decimal will be 479 over 225. And that's it. That will be our fraction form. Ta-da! Alright. Okay, let's convert this decimal to fraction. So, meron tayong 5.1341 and then yung repeating natin na decimal is 41. Okay, so to convert this to fraction, ang first step natin is to identify our numerator. So, ang numerator natin will be the number, itong number na to, without the decimal point and yung bar. So since meron tayong non-repeating decimal and whole number, we will subtract 513, the non-repeating decimal. Okay? And then that will be our numerator. Tapos, yung denominator naman natin, titignan natin yung decimal place natin. Lahat ng repeating decimal, that will be corresponding to 9. And then, for every non-repeating decimal, that will be 0. So, yung repeating decimal natin, meron tayong dalawa. So, that will be dalawang 9 sa denominator natin. Tapos, meron tayong dalawa din na non-repeating decimal. So, meron din tayong dalawang 0 katabi ni 99. So, that will be our denominator, 9,900. Now, let's subtract. So, that will give us 50,828 over 9,900. So, ito yung fraction form natin. Now, let's try to simplify it. So, let's check our common factor. So, they are both divisible by 4. So, let's divide both numerator and denominator by 4. So, yung numerator natin, divide natin siya by 4. That will give us 12,707. Now, yung denominator natin, divide natin by 4. That will give us 2,475. Now, that will be our fraction form from our decimal number. So, it will be 12,707 over 2,475. And that's it. Ta-da! Alright. Let's convert this decimal to fraction. So, we have here 0.3425. And yung nakabar natin is si 4, 2, and 5. So, we have here a repeating decimal. So, to convert this to fraction, ang first step natin is to identify our numerator. So, yung numerator natin, kokopyahin lang natin tong number na to without the decimal point and the bar. So, this will give us 3,425. Now, since meron tayong non-repeating decimal, we will subtract this by the non-repeating decimal, which is 3. So, 3,425 minus 3. Then, punta naman tayo sa denominator natin. So, sa denominator natin, for every repeating decimal, okay, we will be placing 9. And then, for the non-repeating decimal, ang lalagay natin ay 0. So, 1, 2, 3. So, meron tayong tatlong repeating decimal. So, that will give us 3 nines in our denominator. Tapos, meron tayong isang non-repeating decimal. So, yung non-repeating decimal natin, that will be 0. So, our denominator will be 9,990. Okay, simplify natin yung numerator natin. So, 3,425 minus 3, that will give us 3,422. And yung denominator natin, it will still be 9,990. Now, simplify natin yung fraction natin. So, let's identify the common factor. They are both divisible by 2. So, divide natin yung numerator natin and denominator natin by 2. So, let's divide the numerator by 2. That will give us 1,711. And yung denominator natin, let's divide it. That will give us 4,995. And that will be our fraction form of this decimal number. 1,711 over 4,995. And that's it. Ta-da! Alright.